All right, cool. Hello, 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 everybody. Hey V, hey, welcome. Thank you for
Hey, mate,
joining.
thank you for having me. How are you going?
I'm doing good, thank you. Good, good. So I have to preface anything that we say right now to I have not been on Facebook Live in maybe a year, and I maybe do two Facebook Lives a year. So I want to welcome you to my annual Facebook Live.
It was great to be here on the one trip around the sun.
Cool. So um maybe let me just introduce myself. I'm Andrew of Leadhype. Welcome to our Facebook group live, Cold Email Closers. And today we have a very special event, a very special guest. You may not even know who I am because I'm not even active in my own group anymore, but things are about to change. And you may not know who V is in this relaxed Puma outfit of his, but I promise you he's very special. So maybe if you could just give a quick intro, who are you? Why should people in the cold email industry even care about you? Like, who are you?
Fair question. My name's Vaibhav Ravi. I'm with the red Puma outfit. I run a company called smartlead.ai. We're a lead generation and outbound platform. We help people make revenue through outbound methodologies, emails, SMS, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, so on and so forth. Why people should pay attention is simply because of the fact that even if I'm not or a good cold emailer, depending on how you look at it, um, we send out 11 million emails a day, and we collect a lot of interesting information that I think will always help anyone listening to the stuff we share beat the market.
Cool. So I do have to admit to everybody listening right now, 11 million cold emails a day is a bit more than we send. And I'm definitely a small
Just a
fish
teeny
in
bit
this.
more.
This is a teeny bit less, yeah, than we send. You know, we're sending maybe 8-10 million a month right now, not per day, that's for sure.
Mm,
So yeah, thanks for joining. So
no
I
worries at
guess
all.
if you don't mind, V, if I could steal the show from you for a second and just reminisce, talk about how we got here. It's been like a year, like I said before, since I've done a Facebook Live, and I put some thought into how I started, where how we got here. I remember when the group had 500 members. I remember hitting 1,000 members and thinking like we made it. Like we made it. We're 1,000 member group. It was a very big deal for me at the time. And I'm looking at our little ticker here, 9.2 thousand members at this time. We're about to hit 10,000. And it's just times fly, times fly. I just wanted to thank everyone that's watching right now. Sincerely, um without everybody's support, that's in this group, I personally wouldn't be where I am today. And just wanted to thank everybody. So that's a quick little reminisce portion that I had, you know. And I guess the reason why I'm getting this Facebook Live going right here, right now, is because there's been just chaos in our industry, in the cold email industry. And there's just so much crap that people are talking like this is happening and it's the end of cold email, and everybody should run and hide under a rock, and you could crawl out from under your rock once everything's safe. And that really has provoked me, you could say, to speaking like people with like V, who apparently his platform, Smart Lead, is pushing 11 million cold emails a day. So who better to hear what's actually happening in the industry from someone like V, you know? So I guess there's some topics I like to discuss. We're going to talk about the whole Zoho issue. I want to talk about email warm up, what's actually happening, because that's completely changed, right? What's some data on what's working, what's crushing, what's killing campaigns right now, and other trends that we're seeing in the market that normally I refuse to share publicly, and I don't tell anybody much of anything. And I'm flipping that a little bit. upside down, and I think we're going to be sharing more than I've shared in the past couple of years. So thanks for joining me on this, V.
No worries at all. I am excited. No worries at all. And I actually remember joining a group when it was, I think, less than a couple of thousand people. And my first message to you was my desperate attempt of trying to get you to try SmartWriter. We jumped on a call, didn't work out to my favor, and then we caught up a year later, and then finally we're here. So I'm excited to be in front of a celebrity.
No, I'm not a celebrity. You have no idea how many people want to pitch their products.
Yeah.
So don't take it personal, V.
So good. It's so good. I'm glad that I was able to go ahead and be like, all right, I've got his attention. But yeah, I'm excited to be here. I did want to ask on the side, there's a few people who did want to join the live. Is there a link you could share?
We're in my, if they want to join if they promise to behave themselves, I can share a link with you here. If you want them to, if they're not inside the group, they could join here on this link.
All right,
guys,
just as yeah. Okay.
Yeah, guys, if I'm going to do something very dangerous, we're going to see what's going to happen. But I am definitely posting that. I definitely.
This is just,
oh no, I blew it up. I posted it in the Facebook chat here. Last time I did that, we had 250 people live on in it was insane at 250 people. So yeah, guys, if you want to join, if you're in our Facebook group, there's a link below. If we have time at the end, we'll open up some FAQs type stuff.
Cool.
But I guess getting right back into the heart of the thing. Whenever as a marketer, I understand fear. People love playing on fear. When people are uncertain, they go seek the gurus to ask, what should I do? Like they no longer, it creates what's the word? Insecurity, right? Oh. And no, man, we have a first person joining. I'll see what happens. We are definitely going to I have no idea what I'm about to do, but it's definitely going to cause some chaos here. But hello, Stu. Everyone can see you now.
Hey, Stu.
So, the Zoho slap. Let's talk about a big critical topic. All right. And before we even talk about the Zoho slap, I'm going to talk to you about the 2019
Google.
the 2019 Gmail slap. Oh man, Stu's getting his free his claim to fame here. So give me 1 sec. So I'm putting, don't mind me, Stu. I am pushing you into the waiting room. Everyone will be able to join afterwards. Please don't take it personal.
Yep.
So I'll open up the everyone that's waiting in the waiting room. I'm going to open it up. We're going to have some FAQs at the end. So please bear with me here. So let's talk about 2019. Okay. V, I'm not sure where you're at in the cold email scene 2019.
I was a consumer, not a I mean, I was still sending cold emails, but yes, carry on.
Cool. So that's when I was running done for you cold email campaigns, and I've been running cold email since 2013, hiring people on Upwork to develop bots for me to scrape everything you can imagine, everything under the sun. So 2019, the best warm-up practice, this is before LemWarm, before any type of automated warm-up. All we were doing to warm up our emails was to send on day number 1, 10 cold emails a day. On day number 2, 25 cold emails a day. By the end of like 2 weeks, we were sending 350 cold emails per day per G Suite, sender account, right?
Yep.
And you do the cool stuff back in the day, subscribe to newsletters to get some traffic in your inbox. If you're really clever, Uh,
Yeah.
in the third world countries,
You'd get
they
people
offer
to,
a seed
yeah.
list,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
you'd pay these people, they would manually,
Mm-hmm.
reply to your emails. That was the old school
Mm-hmm.
way of warm up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
August 2019, I'm running campaigns for all my clients. Out of nowhere, all my emails died. All my email campaigns died. I'm talking about all of them died. I
Mm-hmm.
was generating, 20 plus leads per day for my clients, and out of nowhere it just stopped. Right, everything died. Everyone's pissed at me.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
few months later,
Mm-hmm.
Lemlist rolls onto the scene with their automated warm up. Right,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
and now
Yep.
everyone's using automated warm up. Cold emails running cool, and out of nowhere, um, people are sending larger volumes again. Some people are sending 100 a day, 150 a day per sender account. I learned my lesson. I'm setting 50 a day. I'm being conservative, right?
Yeah.
And I have not seen a major industry event like that in what, 4 years
Mm-hmm.
to this month, 4 years, and out
Mm-hmm.
of nowhere, back the end of May, this Zoho comes around, slaps everybody, says screw you,
Mm-hmm.
get off our platform.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm gonna try to bring you back in time to some really
Mm-hmm.
sad days. What did that look like from your perspective as being a software platform, where out of nowhere emails are going bad? Is it your platform? Maybe it's your platform that's broken, V, right? What did that look like?
When something like that happens, this happened just a little while ago. The first assumption you make is, we screwed up somewhere, and you start panicking and trying to figure out whether Zoho's done something to your IPs. But the way we operate, it's near impossible for that to happen. So you go on Twitter, you look around the industry, you start trying to figure out what's going on. You speak to a bunch of other people. I'm friends with a few quote unquote, competitors as well. They're good people, and we started to understand that it was not just us, and everyone was facing issues, right? All of a sudden. And it definitely did. It was one of those, like, you wake up and you obviously a bunch of people wanting to leave because they can't do cold emails anymore, and they've invested their money into Zoho. And with Zoho, you need to buy for the whole year. For those who don't know, uh, so I understand it was an investment for a lot of people, and that was kind of a shit experience. And I was like, oh man, I don't know what's going to happen. But you know what? We stood to our ground. We came up with a few techniques to help people push across from Zoho to Gmail or Outlook. And that just revived. And what I came to learn is very similar to when we spoke. You were one of the first people I messaged saying, hey, mate, this is happening. Get ready. And just 2 days after the whole thing sort of went wham bam kablam, and that's when you actually shared with me that you had this issue happen with Gmail back in 2019 or 2018, and it was just the premise that this market will keep evolving and keep changing. And I was somewhat actually happy with that carrying this conversation forward, is simply because of the fact that Zoho made it so easy for people to come in and start doing outbound. And when something becomes easy, it opens the market up to a lot of people who just don't know what they're doing. And that sort of brings out the quality of the entire market. So it's, even though we want to have people send more emails, it's in our benefit that the people who send emails know what they're doing. As a result, get better outcome. So I think resistance is good sometimes.
Yeah, I think platforms such as your own have made it's completely changed the game, right? So back in the day,
Correct.
we're using Mailshake, Mailshake paying. I still have my Mailshake account from back in the day just to say that I could have it. I'm still paying them thousands of dollars. No idea why. But we're paying per email account, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
you have one G Suite account for $6. You have one domain, right? You're spending $50 per sender account. Back in the day, and our clients were getting 5 sender accounts, and we're spending $250 a month hard cost to manage a client, and we're getting them lots of leads, sending 1,500 emails a day. Now, to send those same 1,500 emails a day, we we need what 30 sender accounts. And if you're talking about using Mailshake, 30 sender accounts, say that their platform's 50 a month, that's $1,500 a month just on Mailshake, plus another what $180 on G Suite. My point is then another
The ROI
$300
starts
on
getting bleak.
domains.
Yeah.
Yes. So now it's just so easy to scale at mass volume.
Yep.
And it just, like you said, it waters down the industry. So
Right.
the real question is, there's a major email service provider, ESP, and they just shut off cold email, right? The first question is cold email dead? Does it is that killing cold email? Like they could do it, everyone else could do it, right? So
yeah. I mean, let's not forget that just 6 months ago, Gmail said goodbye to warmups. Right, that also happened. So look, with any platform, and so I think Jesse actually, for those who don't know Jesse, great person, email deliverability expert, he said something really profound, which is we tend to forget that email is also a product, like a SaaS solution. We pay them $9 a month to have a premium experience, and their job is to ensure that your mailboxes are protected, right? They give a safe experience in a safe environment. I don't think email will ever die. Email's been dying since 1998. I think so. Every year email's been dying, and consistently it keeps pushing ahead. There will always be platform risk when you're integrated into these third-party tools, whether it's Gmail, Outlook, Zoho, private email from Namecheap, or hosting your own service, or these DNS providers that also have their own email tools. There's no denial of that fact. We are working on solutions to make ourselves independent of that piece, but cold email is not dead. The reason why that happened with Zoho, for those looking for a bit of a background, is there's regulatory boards that manage the authenticity of mailboxes and ESP providers, and the equivalent of a KYC AML experience, but for emails, right? Are you following the right standards to ensure that you're a good deliverability provider? And if you're not, then they'll make it difficult for you to actually send emails that land in the inbox. Now, the effect of blacklisting and the true outcome of you landing in spam or not is actually debatable. In the more recent times that I've come to learn, just because you're in a blacklist does not mean your deliverability is hit as a 1-to-1 ratio. But you can assume that there's a bit of a blacklist infrastructure that defines whether your email is going to land in spam or not. Let's arbitrarily assume that. And Zoho effectively was not following a lot of those principles. Please note, Zoho Mail just launched or got discovered in 2021. Right before that, it was like a Swiss knife. No one knew about it. So Zoho was not used to the amount of traffic that came through as a result of their price model. Google and Outlook have been doing this for decades, so they know how to handle this, right? We've been abusing Google. I mean, people have been abusing Google and Outlook for a long time. So they figured out how to protect themselves, and it's a much more difficult platform to go through. Zoho didn't. And because of that, Zoho was basically given a warning, from what I've been told, that if they need to fix their stuff, or they're going to get blacklisted across the entire market. And I was actually sharing this in groups multiple times, where I would point the fact that we are seeing people's, not their domains, but the domains they're hosted on, which is Zoho's IP pool or IP servers. It initially used to be the IP pools out of India, then it hit Europe, then there were some hits in, I think they had a few servers in the Northern America space. They all started getting hit on blacklist. And as a result of that, I guess Zoho freaked out, because if all their emails start landing in spam, it's not good for them. They started running very aggressive checks and runs, and pretty much started blocking people left, right, and center. So they're doing what they need to do to protect their business. They will obviously lose tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of money, but I don't think they care, because they're trying to build a product experience. So I respect that, but makes no difference to us. People moved on to Google, people moved on to Gmail, Outlook, and there's a bunch of other private providers that have come into the market. So every disaster breeds opportunity.
Yes, and I guess just to remind people, we're looking, there's a lot of people right now, V, that are looking through the lens of cold emailers, legitimate cold emailer. They're trying to shut down legitimate cold emailers, right? That's what people are scared of. And I feel like you always have to remind people, like, the real black hat stuff that's going on, that gets abused, that gets, unfortunately, through mass emailing, making mass email easy, getting into inbox easy. There's lots of stuff like phishing attempts. It's probably one of the biggest ones. Phishing attempts, scams getting ran, all sorts of stuff, and the predatory stuff. Not trying to prey on your wallet for cold emailing you to offer you my marketing services. So there if cold email's down here, the black hat stuff's all the way up here. So they do have to protect themselves from being abused from stuff like that.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, I am not against what Zoho did. I completely understand and respect their perspective of how they've approached it. I just think they did it in a bit of a haste, and that caused some ripples. But everyone to their own, and they let them do their thing. With everything, advanced sales, etc., there needs to be mechanisms. Like, I'll give you a very quick example. Right, yesterday, someone went ahead and told me, hey, I'm trying to send an email and the campaign is landing in spam. So obviously, a quick concern that jobs up. I go into their campaign and I send an email. Two things. Firstly, they're sending an email from themselves to themselves. It's obviously going to be pulled out as a phishing attempt, so that's going to happen. The second thing is they were selling financial services. I raise this because of what you've said, right? They're talking about mortgage, insurance, and financial services. And I just said, I added my 3 mailboxes and I created a fake campaign, and it was just like, hey, how are you doing? I've grown this company by this %. I've helped this person else. Can I send you a case study? Landed smack bang at the top of my primary inbox. And this is my private mail server, by the way, that no one can get access to. It's really, really aggressive. And that was the message I sent straight to them, saying, hey, this is very clear indicatives of the fact that maybe, yes, same name to same name is an issue, but look, if you're trying to sell financial services and stuff that is obviously high risk, it's very clear that Google is actually running NLP filters, natural language processing filters, to protect their customers. So you need to be particularly careful of how you message and word your copy, because it's not just about the technicalities anymore, but are you a true person trying to sell something? There's so many things that Google's trying to start looking to at the moment to ensure safety of emails in the market.
That just reminded me of something. I'm going to take it a little bit more extreme. One of my clients who I was trying to, I would try to say this as technically and as safely as possible. One of my clients thought it was a great idea to run a donation campaign where you send a cold email to business owners in the US in a certain state, and you get them to click a link to click on that link and to fill out a web form with all your tax information. And then not just that, but to spend, $5-10 grand, without through a cold email. You get a cold email, you click a link, you spend 5-10 grand through your credit card, right? That was one of the campaigns that just blew my mind, that people think that it's possible to run a campaign like that. The reason I'm even bringing that up is because you always have to put into perspective that it's not just you cold emailing. You have everybody under the sun. Everybody under the sun. And this is one of my extreme examples of how not to cold email.
Yes. I always say this to everyone I'm speaking with. If you are reaching out to someone from a lead list that you pulled out, I can guarantee you someone else is also messaging them. So it's not just email deliverability. That's not the only thing you need to focus on. That's just an important part. But one part of the biggest piece is, you cannot go ahead and sell water to people who are not thirsty, right? You need to sell water outside the gym, right? you need to sell dessert at the end of a meal, right? Not at the start, depending on who you are. But sometimes it's not just about selling stuff and expecting responses, is knowing the fact that there's other people also trying to sell to the same person, and that person receiving the email is prioritizing where they're going to deploy capital to. So are you the right person to deploy capital to? And you need to think from that approach. It's always purple card, right? Is how do I become more memorable? How do I stand out from everyone else? And that's, I guess, where the uniqueness of your copywriting techniques, your social media strategy, your online web presence makes a big difference.
So I guess I tried to hook a whole bunch of people to watch this. And one of the hooks that I had was data. You know, one thing I'm going to talk about maybe a couple times before I stop is, I'm assuming that the reason that people are here, or people would watch a video like this, is because they want to know what's happening real time live, right? And what you and I know, is that the techniques that we're using today are not the techniques that are going to work tomorrow, right? One of my biggest hooks back in the day was, hey, first name, I was reading your profile, LinkedIn, decided to reach out, right? I was crushing it with that for so long. That doesn't work anymore. The whole point I'm trying to make is data. People care about data. What's happening right here, right today in the cold email space. I spoke to you a little bit before we hopped on. Do you have anything like what?
Yeah, I'd love to share
what are some cool
things.
facts? Yeah,
for sure. Let's I've got some notes over here that I can sort of drop through it with everyone. So we ran some top level aggregates on some campaigns that were launched 5 weeks ago actually. So we get a lag of 1 month to understand overall campaign performance, right? And I won't dive into everything, but I think we can pick on 2-3 topics so we can focus on those. The biggest one people ask is, what is the impact on deliverability with respect to using images, and the other one with respect to using links, right, in your email copy. So while links is very subjective in the way we ran the analysis, I can tell you images just by searching for emails with the IMG tag in it. The first email, if it had an image, and so the baseline that we've used over here is everyone that has a campaign with a reply rate above 10%. So that's already the baseline we've sort of set as a filter, right? Now, here's an interesting fact. In that structure that we ran for 1 week, there were about, 1 second, I'll tell you the exact number.
And how many emails are how big is this data? How big is this data that you're talking about? How many emails? How many campaigns? Do you have those numbers? No.
Yeah, I do have those. We don't run them as absolutes. We have them as correlatives. But basically, it's around 4,024 campaigns. Cool. 4,024
Cool.
campaigns. You can assume 5 emails per sequence for most of these campaigns, right? And on aggregate, these were sent across 18,000 mailboxes. This particular sample that was run through. Sorry, not 18,000, 28,886 mailboxes. So with that, the number of leads I did not go through. I went through the number of unique emails sent. And the unique emails sent for that particular 4 weeks ago was, I think, averaging about not unique, total email sent was averaging about 6.74 a day. But that is not just for these 4,000 campaigns. That's for all the campaigns within Smartly. These are the 4,000 campaigns that were launched at that time period. So without going too deep into the maths behind this, let's go with the fact that there's about 4,000 campaigns that were run, about 25,000 mailboxes connected, and you can extrapolate that to an aggregate of about 5,000 to 10,000 leads per campaign, because that's usually how much a person adds to a sequence. So with that being said, if we go back and look at only the campaigns that had 10% reply rate, here's a fun one for you. Out of the 4,000 that were launched, only 864 got above 10% reply rates. Cool. The other 3,000 something 100 averaged anywhere between 1% all the way to 9% reply rates for this particular week. And I'll tell you why. That was because that sample that I ran was right in the peak of summer in the States, and everyone was out of office and everyone was AFK, right? So these 10% reply rates we're not including out of office. This is just response rates, right? If we ignore the out of office, because that is what I did originally, and I realized this does not make sense. The reply rate is way too high, because we're seeing 60% average reply rates. I'm like, that's no one's that good all the time. I know a bunch of them are, but not all of them. So this is just for that. So assumably, so on average, you can assume if we ran a sample size of 4,000 on our platform, we see about 2,100, 2,200 with above 10%, but this particular sample size was around 890. Sweet. So out of the 890 with above 10% reply rates, what we ended up seeing was we ran another test with those to see how many of them, this is all aggregates now because I don't have the absolute numbers, how many of them with the image tag in the first email, right, had a positive response structure versus how many of them without an email, without an image tag had a positive response structure, right, or the reply rate structure. And basically there was a boost of just the deliverability metric I'm looking at is reply rates, not open rates, because I'm not considering that at all. Reply rates to open rates, if you don't have any links, it's just a plain text email, was a 24% change.
Increase in reply rate.
Correct. So if 10 emails are sent out, you will get 2 people reply to you, or 2.4 more people reply to you in the 10 emails if you don't put an image versus in 100 emails, versus if you go ahead and do it without with images added in the first email, right? This is just the first email. And here's the kicker: if people went ahead and ran images in the second sequence, second email, after the first one's left empty, right, that has no net effect at all on deliverability. The reason is one and one simple only, is you need to make sure that the second email is threaded to the first email. The way emails work is sometimes very simple, is if you get access to the primary inbox, after that, anything you send just goes straight through, right? Because they qualify the first email, and the second one, third, fourth, fifth goes straight through, right? And it's in extremely rare situations where, unless you're doing really dodgy shit like selling Bitcoin or insurance and something very aggressive, where it will actually start triggering spam filters and move your follow-up emails into the spam folder. And the other thing you need to ensure is you're not sending them as separate threaded messages, and you're actually hooking onto the first message.
Understood. That's a very interesting point. One of the best campaigns I ever ran was it was a guy that I originally turned down to work with. He was selling app development.
Oh, yeah.
And you could imagine how many people are trying to sell app development, and it's just a saturated niche. And I basically told him, no, I'm not interested. And then he was selling me why he should pay me money, right? So I'm listening, and I started getting into it. He started giving these crazy ideas. What if we throw an image? What if we put the person's image what if we take a photo of someone and throw them into a template? And long story short, and I've talked about this campaign before, but we created a website with that person's image in the website
inside. Yep.
And then it had their name, hi first name, this is your website. And then we turned it into a GIF. And scrolled it up and down. So that was one of the best campaigns I ever ran. And we had real famous celebrities replying.
Nice.
And that has burned a image in my brain of how powerful image-based campaigns could be. So it's a very interesting statistic how you're saying that it'll boost the deliverability 24% just by putting a plain text email in the first email and bumping it with a image doesn't have a net effect, like you said.
So I want to be very clear. The concept of deliverability is what I'm referring to. I'm not responding to the concept of the impact of the email, right? So we're not attributing positive response rates over here. We're just attributing
Understood.
whether you will land in the primary inbox. Personalization and shock factors will always beat the market. So it's not disputed that if you do something really nice and hooky, we all know Lemlist does that, and that was their name to fame when they launched, claim to fame when they launched. It's 2017 is different from 2018 to 2019 to 2020. It's 6 years now. That kind of stuff does not work, in my opinion, as it used to, simply because so many people have done that, and it's not as enticing anymore. But
Loom videos.
Yeah, Loom videos are the new thing, right? Loom videos are absolutely the new thing, right? But
again,
so the reason why,
listen, I remember people running. I remember when there was software that you could put a URL and it will take a video of the background of a
it's
website.
Still there. Yeah. There's those ones that are doing really well right now. Yeah,
I'm talking about like years ago, 5 years ago.
Okay.
And that was before it was popular. Now it's becoming mainstream again all these years later. But
there's a bunch of them doing that now.
Yeah. Market trends going in cycles, like you said. 2016 is different than 2017.
Yep.
And I think that, and just to touch on something, that's the whole reason why. What I feel a lot of people is something critical. If you want to be good at what you do, you have to know what's happening now in the industry, right? And what we talked about even before this is that people find out all this stuff late. I just got a DM in my inbox today asking how's Zoho emails, right? And to me, it's I feel like that's years ago, Zoho, right?
Yeah.
It's what, 2 months, 3 months?
Yeah, I completely get your vibe. I know exactly what you mean. Someone messaged saying, "Oh, you recommended Zoho on a live stream." I was like, that was gone. That was gone. It's I've been telling you not to use that for the longest time, so it feels for us forever now. But it just happened 3 months ago. So yeah, I know what you mean.
And that's something I used to always tell people. Listen, tools change, tools break, methods work, methods break. It all comes in cycles and trends, and the only thing that matters is what's working right here, right today.
That's it. You're absolutely right. And
lots of great marketers will not tell you their secrets of what they're doing. The real people doing real stuff, making 6 figures a month, 7 figures a month, are not telling you what they're doing, because what they're doing is going to break if too many 100%. People start doing it too many. But
100%.
In the air of V being transparent with us, we're breaking these guru rules a little bit and trying to give away some real data.
Correct. I think the main premise over here is the information that is shared is not do this strategy, right? I think when you start telling people, hey, do this particular sneaky, there used to be a cool little sneaky technique people used to do, saying sent by iPhone, right? To make you think that it was. So that's not the point over here. The point is not to latch onto the next cool hack. The point is to tell you fundamentally, this is how there's a shape shift happening and how you need to accommodate for that shape shift, right? I'll give you another example, right? When you send your first email, let's just say out of every 100 emails, you get 20 replies, right? In your first email. In the campaign, if you go ahead and add a second email, right? Provided your baseline reply rate is 10%, right? In your first, your second email increases your reply rate by 17%, right? Your third email drops your reply rate by 4%. Your fourth email basically gets you no response rates and increases your bounce rate, because you're blocked at that point, right? So, and again, this is just for that tiny patch that we run, and we will be doing this patch every week, right, with different variances, different tests of data, to share this kind of stuff. So now some people might take this and now make a whole change to their campaigns. We'll do a live again maybe in 2 weeks, and I'll give you something that's the exact opposite of what I've just said, right? So the premise is to take what works in the market at the point, try your best to understand the baseline, and run framework tests, right? A/B test it, and you will know to your best effort what really works for you. Because sometimes if you're selling to CEOs, you may need to send 5 emails to get their attention, right? If you're selling to someone who's not as busy in a low targeted industry, then 1 or 2 emails is good enough. And every email you send after that, get the hint they're not interested, right? So that's how I tend to approach it. Another example I can give you over here, just looking at this, is for that patch of, this is the 4,000 campaigns, not the 400, not the 894 campaigns, 90 something campaigns. The average bounce rate, which is actually pretty impressive, is around 4%, right? We've seen people run campaigns with 21% bounce rates. If you're doing anything more than 2% as a bounce rate, you can say bye to that domain, right? And this is what you want to do. You can use us, use whatever platform you want. You can go ahead and ensure you're splitting your mailboxes on a domain level to protect yourself from that. Because on a mailbox level, you should not be doing more than 2%, which means for every 100 emails you send, you should get 2 bounces, right? And out of that, you're allowed to have some soft bounces, and we can jump into what soft bounces mean. But hard bounces needs to be less than 2 people out of 100 people you send messages to. Because remember, the concept of an email is you're sending a message to someone else who knows you, right? It's just like back in the day, it's electronic mail. You're sending a letter, right, to grandma or your friend or someone in the other corner of the country, expecting a response back, right? Just with the postal service as well, if you're known as someone who just consistently just sends messages and you get no replies back, or you get a lot of hate mail back, even the postal service will start flagging you as someone they probably don't want to send messages from, right? So just keep that in mind.
Now, there are always, and I love you're definitely talking 99% of the time. I have a campaign running right now where we're getting 20 to 50% bounce. I like to think I'm an expert level marketer. Why would I even do that? You know what I mean? And it's, as V said, it's all about the foundations and getting the foundational right before playing around, experimenting. To tell you the reason that we're doing that is because our client has a limited database of roughly 300,000 people. We have 300 sender accounts. 200 of them are dedicated to burn, and then just download the contacts that have have delivered and not bounced, and add them to the clean database. But that's the more advanced stuff.
And like if we want to start rolling into the concept of bounces and stuff, right? Then what we start seeing is we had this nice little game happen somewhere 3 months ago, where Outlook started blocking Zoho, right? Every single email that was sent from Zoho, Outlook said bye, thank you. Now it's not there anymore. Now it looks like it's back and they're accepting it. What I've learned sending larger volumes, right? When I used to do this as a consumer, it used to send maybe 30,000, 40,000 emails a month, and it used to give me a small pocket of information, but not enough. Is when this extrapolates into significantly large volumes, which is you're logging into gigabytes and petabytes of data, not petabytes yet, but at least gigabytes of data. What you tend to realize is what you said, it's cyclical. There'll be a thing that will happen that will shock the market, and then that will cause a bit of a ripple for like 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then it just goes away, right? Then it goes back up again, then again it hits the fan, right? And it's just like we had a bunch of people saying there's a Google started running. I don't know if you received a message or everyone has, but Google basically pushed out an update to their terms and conditions and privacy policy. Everyone started sharing screenshots of them getting messages. And you can correlatively see the second that privacy update starts coming in, there's messages coming in saying, hey, I've been asked to add in my phone number, right? So Google will do something, from what I picked up, because I've gone through one round out under the sun right now as a sender. And they would run some little shock to the system every quarter. Every 3 to 4 months, Google will do something like a little trickle. I'm here to screw with you people. And then it'll do that for about 3-4 weeks and it'll be quiet. And then 4 months later again, boom, I'm here to screw with you people. So just work with the patterns, ride the wave, and you should be perfectly fine.
And that's an amazing topic or concept that you brought up. I ran a course for somebody. They wanted me to film a course. They ended up using that content for years, and I never put out a course. I never charged for a course. We have a free course. I just give it away, right? I'm not going to be a guru. And people came back and said, what you said in the course doesn't matter. It doesn't work. And I said to the person that's hosting the course, I said, listen, everything in cold email changes. Like, expect it to change every 6 months. Whatever I'm telling you now is not the same thing that it's going to be in 6 months. And the only way to stay ahead of it is to keep your ear to the street, right? Listen to hear what's going on. And either you're going to learn the lesson the hard way, or you could see what's happening to other people and be part of a community, such as our lovely group here, Cold Email Closers. And if you don't mind me pivoting, V, that's a really good place to pivot. There I have a bit of a secret, a bit of an announcement for people in our group who even spent the time to listen to us crazy people for 50 minutes. As everyone knows, I've been taking a real backseat in our group. How I grew the group to where it is today is I used to just help people all day, right? All I did all day, people would post messages and I would just sit there and help them. And that's how I grew my audience. That's how people started joining the group. They would know that if they posted a message, I would do my best at a very high level, very long response to help them with that, whatever problem they had. And that's how I grew the group into a quality group of what it is today. And because we came so busy, I'm growing as a person, our company's growing significantly. It's taken, I don't have the amount of bandwidth to be able to help everybody as I used to help people. And it's caused me and my business partner to, analyze the situation. What are we going to do with the group, right? And as we were in talks with V, I think V and I were doing a little song and dance. We were dancing around each other for a little bit. We've made the collective decision. V very happily made us, a fulfillment partner of their platform. And, their users have, situations where they don't want to configure, 500 sender accounts, they don't have time to do that. So, that's where we came in. And at the same time, on the other hand, we're going to be extending an invitation to V and the whole Smart Lead team to help assist our group members. So, in case you guys don't know, once you hit 10,000 members in a group, you can't change the name anymore. Well, we're just under that threshold. We're gonna crush it and push much past that 10,000. But V is going to come in to our group, and him and his team members are going to be helping everybody as well at a higher level of support. As people need help. So I guess V, what are your thoughts? I know, and just so everyone knows, this is very informal right now. We're still playing around with concepts. We're getting our feet wet, but how do you think that's going to look?
Look, there's super straightforward. There's enough groups in the market right now for you to go ahead and say, all right, there's I'm learning stuff about cold emails. I think for us to offer something that's different in 2023 to 2024 is to take leverage of unique positioning that we have, right? Yeah, we'll share the tips and tricks that everyone shares, right? But I really think the way you step apart from the rest of the market, the way you win in real estate, the way you win in marketing, the way you win in business is by being in a community of people that share things that only some people understand, that are, that get the concept behind it. And the question then comes down to, is the person telling me this information bullshit, right? Because half the time you can't authenticate it, because Google's not going to release an article saying, hey guys, we've updated our spam algorithm, so please go ahead and do this. No, the way you learn that, like we do, is from the thousands of people who tell us every single day. So to summarize this, the only reason I would want someone to pay attention to this group and what we're going to be sharing over the next 1, 2, 3 years as we grow this is core actionable insights, right? Is how do you beat your competition? Not the market, but your competition. Because guess what? There's other people selling to the same people that you're selling to. So how do you make more money for yourself? How do you make more money for your clients? And how do you grow your business? It's simply by being on trend with patterns that no one else is following, right? And if you don't have the volume, you're maybe sending only 50, 60,000 emails a month. You're definitely not picking up patterns and trends. I know it seems like a lot, but cold email works in hundreds of thousands and millions. And we're going to do our best to share really core actionable insights every week, every day, or however often we can, for you to action those and implement them into your campaigns and truly see whether these things work or not. And you'll be seeing live experiments that we run. We've actually got a dedicated person running live experiments. So you don't need to run those experiments and burn your domains and mailboxes and leads. We'll be running live experiments every week and every month to go ahead and show you, hey, we ran this campaign and a test. Emojis don't work, right? We ran a campaign to say that using a female name works better than a male name, right? We run a campaign where we've sent 100 messages. Another campaign that we're testing right now, and I'm excited to share with everyone, is does 2 weeks warm up make a difference? Does 1 week make a difference? Does 3 week make a difference? Does 4 week make a difference? You don't need to worry about that. We'll run that test. We will share that data for you. So you don't need to go ahead and do it. So that's what I want to share with everyone in the group is, for lack of better words, shit that's not there anywhere, shit that you don't have time to do, and you want to let us handle that. So it's just a big giant experiment, and you'll be part of the journey.
No, and I'm looking forward to be part of that journey as well. Some cool stuff we could do is throw polls. What other people? What are some experiments that other people want to run? And we're happy to start running polls and getting everyone else's feedback, and try to keep the group. Not try, but will keep the group the highest quality possible. And that's I've started this group, keeping the sharks away. The only thing I care about is providing quality information to people, and I'm gonna, I've had a very clear discussion with V. If you're coming in our group, I refuse to promote crap. I don't do 2-step posts. I'm not here to try to turn myself into a guru. The only thing that I care about is being authentic with real quality data that matters and actually helps people. So, I'm happy to have you on board here in the group. From the rest of the Leadhype team, we're happy to welcome you on board officially. We could, write this date down in your calendar, talk about the day we got married.
Imaginary confetti just rolling out. Yeah, look, me and the entire team at Smart Lead are super pumped and keen. You'll be seeing some of our names show up over there. You will rarely see us shill products, any of that stuff. We're just here to share data and insights. Be like, hey, we've run this cool experiment. Check it out. Do you want to use it? Use it. You don't use it. Don't use it. But it's going to exist, right? And we'll be sharing that with the rest of the market, and that's all there is. We'll be releasing guides, content. Whether you want to claim us as gurus, go for it. Whether you don't want to claim us as gurus, go for it. We really don't care. I'm just here to share some cool shit that we discovered. Because I'll tell you this, I'll discover this. I'll message Andrew at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, yo, I figured something out. Check this, and then he'll jump on a call with me and we'll discuss. And we're like, fuck, okay, this is great, and they implement it. And I think instead of just me and him having that unfair advantage, I think the rest of the market should have that advantage as well. So, yeah.
All right. Well, V, thank you so much for your time. Real quick, what's the name of your company? Who are you guys? Real quick outro.
Yeah. So I guess that gives the essence of the fact that we're not here to show. We're called smartly.ai. It's a cold emailing platform. Check it out if you want. Don't check it out if you want. But either way around, we'll be sharing some cool shit. And I think, hopefully you'll enjoy it and it'll help you make more money.
Cool. I'm Andrew from Leadhype, Facebook group Code Emo Closers. It's a pleasure catching up with you, V. Enjoy the rest of your evening.